Hello, this is Gabi from Bluebonnet Crafters, and right now you are looking at the advertisement for turtle looms in the handwoven November-December 2020 issue, and it says Janus hexagons. Do you see it? Well, let me explain what this is all about. This handwoven issue is looking at projects that are interesting on both sides. And when we saw the proposed theme, this is like, yes, this is wonderful because for quite some time now, we had some hexagons that are really super interesting to weave, um, but need some explanation, and I can show you what this is about. Here's a hexagon that's woven on the original turtle loom, and you can see there are stripes on this side that go all the way up and stripes on this side that go across. And here we're weaving in two colors, and here are the start tails. And now just watch this. If I take the start tails and flip that same hexagon over, you will see that now on this side the stripes go sideways, and on this side the stripes go vertically up and down. So let's go back. So here's the starting tails. I'll flip them back to the original positioning. Stripes go vertically up and down, and here the stripes go sideways. If I take the starting tail and flip it over, we have just the opposite. Stripes going sideways, stripes going up and down, which is the perfect Janus effect. Janus is a Roman god with two faces. So if you have the right side face, it goes like this, and the wrong side face, it goes like this. Now, what can you do with it? And let me just put this aside for a second, and I want to show you the project that I did, which is pretty much just a simple flower. So hexagon in the center, plain, and then we have 6 hexagons in this new weaving method going all around. And if you see, there is it's almost like a ring structure going around the center hexagon here. Now, if we take that same hexagon or that same flower and turn it over like this, you see that all of a sudden the stripes are, this ring now has the stripes going away from the center, not around anymore. So long story short, this weaving method is pretty much a little treasure trove for many, many more ideas to come. Tying it back to our advertisement here, we have, you can see it here, this half has the ring going around, and then on this half it's the same doily, but it's just flipped over. You see how the stripes go away from the center. All right, now some of you will ask, this is like, oh, this is so complicated, I can never do this. It's actually far, far easier than it looks like. All you need is actually it works on pretty much all turtle looms, but for this project we use the original turtle loom with regular pin spacing, and I used the universal yarn Uptown worsted yarn in let me see, this is the color 302 in white glow, and I wanted to show the real contrast. So, and this is black color 324. So these two colors to show really good contrast. I just want to point out that I really enjoyed working with this yarn. It's 100% acrylics, but it's super soft, extremely comfortable to work with, and it just creates stunning results where you really see the fabric. It creates a beautiful fabric. So I very much enjoyed working with this yarn, and I'm pretty sure this was the first but not the last time I worked with it. All right, but now let's take a look. I want to show you how this actually works. So all we do is weaving with two colors, and what all we do is we change the color with every row. There's a little bit more to it, and so basically buckle up and I'll show you how it goes, but I hope that you will explore with me many oohs and ahs when we take a look at how this hexagon weaves up. All right, for this demo we are going to use the original turtle loom, and we will pretend to just weave a regular hexagon the way you already know it. But we will be using two colors. I have the black as the main or first color, and I have the white as my supporting or second color. These are both worsted weight. You can use the same method on all other turtle looms. The bigger ones, the Texas turtle, and the smaller ones, the elongons, you will get similar results. So for demonstration purpose today, it's the original with worsted weight yarn. Let's get started. I'm using a locker hook, but you can use, if you prefer, the crochet hook and weaving needle method, no problem. We start with our main color and leave a little tail for sewing, about 1 time the width of the loom or whatever have you. Since you have plenty of tails, it's not really that important. And start with a slip knot. Make a big slip knot. I'll show you. So basically like that big, because we are starting the weaving with a loop. We go from the starting pin at the top to the starting pin to the bottom. Now we can just put this end over here. This will help us to free up our hands and to make the first loop. And then we take our supporting color, little tail, make a normal slip knot, and put it to the next pin next to the top, as if we are using it for regular weaving. Well, we actually are using it for regular weaving. And here we go and get started. You will notice that the weaving method is identical to what you already know. The only thing is that we will switch colors. The only way where we need to pay attention is while we work this side, and I'll show you how it goes. So under, over, pull it through, next pin at the top, next pin at the bottom, carry it over, next pin on the other side, and then when you get here to the top, there's the pin where you attached the white second color, and we go between that pin and the next available pin and put the white yarn through it. What I want you to do is put it through it like this, and then, because now you need to switch the colors, so we'll put this up here, and then we take the black from under the white, and that's what we're going with to weave with next. Skip 2 pins, 1, 2, and come through right here. So you can see this is where the white goes up, and between the next two pins is where the black comes down. It's probably the easiest to see and remember. And then you do over under weaving time. Next pin at the top, next pin at the bottom, go to the other side and finish. Same thing. You lead the black yarn between where you started and the next free pin. Switch colors. The white one comes under the black one. 2 pins. And you are ready to weave. Under, over, under, over, under, over. And you do your regular round. Lead it up here, and the black comes under. The black goes around 2 pins, and we are ready to weave. Under, over, all the way across. And other than that, so basically just watch it here at this side. Go through the pins, change colors. The new color is always going under and around 2 pins. And then you're ready to weave, and I'll show you in a minute what this will look like. So just weave the regular round, and let's do it one more time. Go between, the black goes under, the new color goes under, and around 2 pins, and then we will weave our regular round. So let me just quickly show you what's happening here. Why are we making such a fuss around about this? Going always under and going around 2 pins. It interlocks the colors when we change colors. So you will have a nice edging on this side and on this side. It's a smooth way to switch colors, and you don't even notice it. Okay, this does not just look pretty, it's also beneficial when you sew it together, when you sew the hexagons together. All right, let's keep going here, and that's pretty much all we need to do for now. So go up, new color goes under and around 2 pins. And we're ready to weave. Well, right now we're ready to pack. By the way, if you want to pack here where the pins are still pretty tight, just use the back of your weaving tool, whether it's the crochet hook or the locker hook, and just slide it down like this. And here you go, that's sufficient. So we're ready to weave. Under, over, all the way across. Fetch the white, and let's weave around of white. Go between the pins. So the black comes under and around 2 pins, ready to weave. And now we have enough that we can actually use our packing comb to pack the weaving. And from here on, we just work our way towards the corners, filling in the triangles at the top. And just remember, when you get to the top, go through the pins, pull the next color under, and have the next color go around 2 pins, and you have the perfect advancement and interlocking of the colors all by itself. center and around 2 pins. And you don't have to pack, but I like it when it looks neat. And I think actually the packing, it's not just a luxury. I think it just actually helps with weaving speed and creating an even fabric. Excuse me. And so here we go. And here we are at the last. So the black comes out here. And then this will be the last round where we work around the corners with the white, with the contrasting color. Okay, so this time we go around the corner, 1, 2, and just weave the last round. Go around the corner nail. And the corner right here, the corner pin down here, and we're coming out at this pin. And this concludes our bias weave. Let me just tighten this up a little bit. So this is what it looks like. And you can already see here how the pattern develops. On this side, the stripes go over. Actually, here they go up and down, and here they go over. And this is the same happens here at the bottom triangle, going across and up and down. And you notice that we just did the regular weaving in the round that we know from plain weave. The trick here is that in the center we have those 2 black strands from the main color, and they make the pattern flip automatically. Okay, so that's excuse me, that's all there is to it. This is the first part of weaving. So now what are we going to do with the second part? And this is actually quite exciting because you could go and weave back and forth. I tell you, it actually gets a little bit tedious if you do that with 2 colors, because you have to figure out, you know, about which pins to go, and you know, so what I did here is we are using a modified version of the traditional weaving method that you are familiar with you know, Weave It, of course, but also, you know, nowadays the Zoom Loom, where you wind the layers first, and then you only weave the final layer. And so we kind of it's kind of really an afterthought second layer that we're creating next, and I'll show you how that works. So if you are completely confused, don't worry, just bear with me. We will continue at this point. So the white one is down here, and we leave it right there. Right now we will just continue to work with the black, with the main color, and we will pretend to weave another round. Bear with me. So basically under, over, all across, and you pull the black through just around the corner pin, and then you pull it all the way through, and on the other side you put it around 2 pins, and I'll show you what it looks like on the side. So you go around, put the loop around the 2 pins. Here's the corner pin, and then the next 2 pins you put the loop around it. Make sure that you don't twist the yarn. Okay, but that's pretty much, if you are very familiar with Zoom Loom or Weave It weaving, you see that you can there are those layers, and then there's this layer in between, and that's the second layer that we're right now filling in, almost like an afterthought. And this is an idea from Elizabeth Zimmerman's knitting the afterthought heel with sock knitting. So we're doing an afterthought second layer for our weaving. All right, let's do this again. This time, and you see that both of those black weft strands go through the same shaft, and that's exactly what we want. So you are good. And we're doing it again. So instead of going under, over, right now we're just reusing that same shaft. And then on this side with the working yarn, we go around 2 pins and fetch the thread and pull it through. See that? So they're going around 2 pins, fetching the thread and pulling through the loop. And the loop goes over, guess what? Yes, you're right, over the next 2 pins on this side. Okay? You probably notice how fast this goes because you don't have to do the up and down motion. You just go carefully through the same shaft that already exists. Let's do it again. Anywhere, slide through the same shaft that already exists. On this side, go around 2 pins, and I hope you can see this. Here's the working yarn, 2 pins, and then there's the weaving tool. Fetch the yarn, pull it through, go over 2 pins on this side. So this goes really fast. One more time. Just slide through the existing shaft. 2 pins between working yarn and weaving tool. Pull through a loop. And 2 pins on this side. At this point you're running out of pins, so for this last round you will reuse the corner pin. So for the last loop you use the corner pin and the one next to it to hold the loop. At this point you are done with the black yarn. You may leave a tail and just clip it off. And now we're getting ready to fill in the white, which would be in traditional Weave It or Zoom Loom terms, that would be the 4th layer that you actually weave. And so will we. On this loom, you will need the lengths of 3 wraps. 1, 2, 3, and snip. So you will need the lengths of 3 wraps to finish the center with white. Okay, so we're here. This is the working thread, and we will work in this direction now. But you see here, there's the last thread is a white weft. So we take the first black one and slide it down. If you want, you can use the packing fork to slide down the first black weft. And then with white, you will just weave around it. And I do this first row having the loom on the table so that you can see the weaving direction and what's actually happening. Okay, so we slid down the first black weft and we're now weaving the first white row. Here we go. You may want to hold the black one while you tighten this up. Okay, and then we just continue from here. Slide down the next black one. And then you will weave around the pins now as usual and weave the next row. And this one, if you're familiar with Zoom Loom or the 3-pin group weaving method, you already know what it looks like and what to do. So that's all there is to it. And if you want, you can slide down the next black thread. And at this point, I hold it up because that's a little bit more convenient. That goes faster too. So weave between the next 2 black threads with the white. You can use this weaving method just with plain yarn too, but I really like it. I highly recommend that you start practicing with 2 colors first, because that way you can actually see what's happening and what you're doing and where you need to go. It makes it really easy. So, but again, this method also works on all the looms. Just replace the traditional back and forth method with this type of modified weave it method, and you'll be fine. You will get, and I can show you this later, you will get the edging will be scalloped. Okay, so some people like it, some people hate it. Some people say it's more difficult to, you know, when you start joining the pieces. Okay, I'm talking too much. We are at the last row, so there are 2 more black weft strands right here, and there's nothing special to it other than that, okay, this is the last one, so only weave while you can go between 2 black strands. There you go, and that's it. So let's take a quick look here at our completed hexagon while it's still on the loom. And now you can see the full pattern development. On this side we have the stripes going up and down, and on this side we have the stripes going sideways. The supporting color ends here at the top, the main color ends here at the bottom, and we have these are the 2 starting ends. Okay, let's take it off the loom. I just wanted to show you one more thing. So basically normal weaving for the first part, but remember to go always under when you do the color changes, and you can see here the nice finish and very even finish that looks like the other sides, which it looks good and it comes in handy when you join. And then on the sides you will have these scallops develop right here. This is from the layered weaving method. All right, so let's take this goodie off the loom. Nothing you need to do other than just taking it off. Put this aside, and here is our Janus hexagon. All right, so what can we do with it? I will show you. Oh, I want to show you one more thing. Why is it called Janus? Because it has 2 faces. That's the meaning of Janus. if you take here the starting threads, you can see here the stripes go vertically on this side and horizontally on this side. If you take the starting threads and flip it over like this, you can see that the other side now has the stripes going horizontally here on this side and vertically up and down on this side. So let's do this again. I'll flip it back, so sideways, up and down, and when you flip it back to the original, it's up and down and sideways. So 2 faces for our Janus hexagon. The idea behind it is relatively simple. You weave with 2 colors. I have 2 contrasting colors, black and white, and you change after every round. All right, I know this has been a lot, and you probably want to watch this video a few times before it sinks in, but you know, watch it and then just try along and pause and contact me if you have any questions. What can you do with it? So this is actually from a design perspective quite interesting. This is our, let me just put this aside. So this is the little cloth that I developed. It's pretty much just the a regular hexagon flower, pretty much. And if we use this one here as a sample, that this is the hexagon that we just wove, you can see that there's a center hexagon which is solid, and then I made 6 of those Janus hexagons and put them around the center like the dishcloth. If you follow the dishcloth pattern on YouTube, that's exactly what I did. And so you get, if you lay them out like this, you get this circle or ring around here, all right? And then the petals go out in out and about. Now, if you take this same doily or flower, I'll just say for now, and let's flip it over. So look at this ring here. Here's the ring, okay? If we take the same doily and flip it over, you see the change. You see the other face. Because all of a sudden, the stripes go into a different direction here. It's not really a ring anymore. And then here on the outer circle, you have them go like this. Okay, so quite an interesting effect. And you know, if you imagine you make this into a grandmother's flower garden, we have many of those flowers, and it's quite a very interesting visual effect that you can achieve with it. And so I'm going back to the front like this. Another thing that you can do if you just want to make a doily, let me see where I put this. Oh, here it is. So we have two colors, the black and white, and you could make another hexagon and have in solid with the contrasting color or the main color, and then you can have one side like this, and then when you flip it over, you could sew the second hexagon here on the back side, so that you really have a true two-face effect where the back looks like this and the front looks like this. So plenty of possibilities, but most importantly, let's make sure that we know what to do with it. So I have this little hexagon. I found this hexagon basket, wooden basket at Hobby Lobby, and lacquered it the way I lacquered the looms, and so this is the perfect fit, like this. And then don't forget the chocolate, which would make a perfect hostess gift or even for the holidays. All right, so that much about Janus. I hope you're not too overwhelmed. I do hope that you are excited about the new possibilities that this weaving method gives us. And let's stay in touch. Tell me how it goes for you. Ask any questions that you may have, and I'll see you next time.